Hey guys, Sherman here, back with another deck profile. This one is a bit overdue. I got this undefeated run several weeks ago, but just really haven't had the time to make the deck profile until now. But I'm really excited to make it, especially since they've announced Revue Starlight for the English set. So eventually, the plan or hope is that this deck would come to English. And so I'm excited to preview it right now because I think it's in a pretty good place in the JP format until I guess it gets power crept. So I'm really excited for it to come to English as well. I think it has a lot of really interesting tools that make the deck pretty good, and I know there's a lot of Revue fans out there, so just wanted to make this quick deck profile for you guys. This is Revue Starlight with the movie set. My build is the pants level 1 into the gate level 3 combo, and yeah, let's just get straight into the deck profile. So starting off, we're running 4 copies of the Futaba Runner. This is one of the best level 0 cards they've ever printed. It is a 3k level 0 if you have 5 or more cards in hand, and it also runs to anywhere on the field. So 3k free runner, kind of crazy, yeah. And it's also red. We do need red fix in this deck. Next, 4 copies of the Mahiruriki. Just really no explanation needed for that. Mahiruriki, pretty crazy card. Unfortunately, does not clock from waiting room, but that's basically the only problem with the card. Everything else about the card is amazing. Alright, next, 3 copies of the Hikari Brainstorm. I think this is probably the better Brainstorm because you're not really playing counters in this deck. Otherwise, you could totally run the Relive, Misora, I think her name is. You could totally run that Brainstorm instead, but that's also yellow. We're not really running yellow in this deck. There's builds that run choice level 1 combo with the Nana, and in those builds, you'd probably run the Misora Brainstorm instead of the Hikari Brainstorm, but we do need blue for the end game, so this is also a good blue fix. Alright, 2 copies of Giraffe. I think Giraffe is really good. It's probably one of the best cards in Revue. Really cool set of effects. So it's the whenever you play a card, you can look at the top card of your deck and then pay to tap it search. So I think the ability to pay 3 on your turn between the Brainstorm and the Giraffe, so that if you like trigger your first card climax, you can always pay it out, is really valuable. I really like the fact that if you play a card, you look at the top card of deck, it's like a climax, you don't have a Brainstorm available, you're like, okay, I don't want to trigger that climax, you can just pay 2 to search to shuffle your deck again, and then you can get confirmation of what the card is on top afterwards. Just gives you a lot of control over your deck and kind of the top card, and a lot of the cards in this deck do well with that top card information. So I think Giraffe is basically indispensable, and you're not really replacing him in the back row until like level 3 when you drop the 2-1, because that 2-1's not really that good at level 2. You're not like trying to like play it out immediately, so Giraffe really stays on the board for a long time. Alright, and then 2 copies of the level 0 Tendo Maya. This is the Fukajiro, so on death, discard a card, top check up to 4 for a level 1 or higher. This also gets an additional mill with her on play effect, which you can mill the top card of your deck, and if it has a soul trigger, you can give another character soul trigger. So yeah, just like a mill 5 on a level 0 is pretty great. We do run a lot of level 1s and higher in this deck. We do run a lot of 0s as well, but I think you just have to be careful when you use that effect. And sometimes you'll miss, but you know, that's life. 2 copies of Mahiru Bomb. Mahiru Bomb is really good, but I've noticed that if I play more than 2, I start flooding. Because I was originally on like 4, and then I dropped down to 3, and it still felt bad, and I dropped it down to 2. And that 2 copies, it feels really good, because then like you'll have it occasionally, and you can grab it with combo or door anytime like you feel like it. It's always like not too hard to get, and then it's not always online because the draft basically gives you information of whether or not your Mahu is going to hit or not, and so you'll know when it hits, so you know when you get the stock. And yeah, I think it's like it's not always online, but when it's online and you can do it profitably, it feels really good. But if it's not online, you don't feel bad if you have like 2 or more in hand, because you're like, man, I'm flooding on these cards that don't do anything when I play them. So I think 2 is a really good number. I'm really happy with this too. I like when I played it at high numbers, it was so bad that I considered dropping it altogether. But then I later, I just like, okay, if I drop the numbers, it actually just feels way better because you don't flood. Yeah. All right, climax swap. If you have money and access to the PR Karen climax swap, that is the better climax swap because it's red. but it is like $30 or something ridiculous, just play this. It doesn't really matter. And then one copy of the Drop Salvage. This is the only card from Relive that I'm playing in this deck, by the way. Every other card in this deck is from the first set or the third set. This is the only card from Relive that's making it. It's probably your best option for utility. It's the mill 2, plus 1k for each card, each Revue milled, and then Drop Salvage. So the reason why this is the best utility card instead of like a Drop Search or something is because your level 3 Hikari searches, and if the target that Hikari is searching for is not in deck, but this is in deck, you can search this and then Drop Salvage for the target that you were looking for, right? So if you ran Drop Search, it's just redundancy for level 3, but this is exactly not redundancy. And then obviously your Riki is searching at level 0, so you don't really need search in first deck that much, but you need the salvage at level 3, if that makes sense. So yeah, I actually like ran into that situation and I was like, oh wow, Drop Salvage is like way better. Yeah. You could just run another generic Drop Salvage, but the Relive one's the best one. Also has the best art. Alright, level 1. I'm running 4 copies of the Climax combo. We are on the Hikari Climax combo. Let me talk a little bit about why Hikari versus Nana. So obviously Nana is the better combo, right? Nana has a soul trigger, Nana is on a choice, Nana salvages anything, right? And then Nana also gets a ton of power if you have a full board, which is not very hard considering that you can just pay 3 and just get cards. And you also have a Riki and stuff like that, and your level 0 doesn't die. The problem with Nana is that it does not mill. Nana does not mill, and without mill on your combo, nothing else in this deck mills at a rate that feels good, right? You have the Fukajiro, but you don't want to be using the Fukajiro constantly or running that many copies of it in the first place. Like, you're not on a mill runner. I guess Riki mills 2 technically, but that's like not that great. You don't really have that much stock generation unless you get really lucky with your Mahiru hits, which again, I tried the Nana version with like the Mahiru, and then like if you miss the Mahiru, it's over. Like you have nothing, like your Mahirus are just dead, right? And then I just realized that like even though Nana's better, because you have to go out of your way to mill, but to define access to mill like way more, it's like it feels so bad. And then like you're just wasting all your resources and time early game trying to find mill instead of just like setting up for level 2. And the reason why Hikari works so well is because you use her combo and then you just forget about her, because starting from level 2 you're not playing her combo anymore. You don't need to loop her combo. You have a better combo at level 2 that you can run. And then also the Pants Climax helps you, when you trigger it, you can just get the door that is live starting level 2, right? So I think if we didn't have the 2-1 Cotton combo, then Nana would be better, because like the Nana plus the Twin Drive is just, that scales way better into level 2 and late game. But because we have such a good level 2 game plan already, we don't mind that this isn't ideal. We just care that this helps us get through the deck, and then starting from level 2 we just have a better game plan, and then we can always fall back to this if we need more mill. So I think even though the plussing is less ideal than Nana in terms of like selectivity and also power, just the fact that she does more stuff on her own without us having to like dedicate more slots in the deck or more time and resources in our game plan to do what she can do all by herself, I think she's just the better card, right? So that's my argument for Hikari. I think I play tested both decks. I just feel like the Hikari versions are way more smooth. Your game plan is way better, and you just feel way more in control at all stages of the game. Whereas with Nana, I feel like I'm scrambling way more. Alright, anyways, that's just my opinion. We're running 1 copy of the Tendo Maya. This card's pretty cool. So it gets 6k when it fronts a level 2. And on play, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a Revue, you can assign 2k anywhere, including herself. So the cool thing is that she's 9-5 against level 2s if they just have like a 2-2 hand encore that doesn't get big cross turn. For example, like Nino. But then if they do have a 2-2 that's big cross turn, you can assign the 2k to herself, so she'll be 11-5. But if the 2-2 is not big like Nino, she can just swing 9-5 and she can assign the 2k somewhere else, and that could potentially win a lane, right? So that's kind of cool. This is a flex spot. You can play literally anything you want here. I just wanted another level 1 beater, and also I realized that this deck didn't have that much like on turn power, so I decided like I'll just like play something that gives on turn power. All right, level 2's 4 copy of Karin. This is the reason why like this deck is crazy, by the way. It's actually this card, not anything else. It's this card. This card is a 2/1 7k, gets 6k power when it attacks level 3, so already really good. And then the climax combo is just on attack, stock one from waiting room, top check. If it's a Revue or the 3/1 event, you just add it to hand. So obviously top check's not ideal, but it already stocks one from waiting room, so it's like it already recoups its cost. And then your first top check, you know it's gonna hit because of giraffe. And then if you miss the top check, you're triggering, so you're still getting hand back, right? So like it actually doesn't feel bad at all. And then the thing with the Karin is that like since we're running so many copies of it, like we only need one for level 3, so we can just like dump a full field of these at level 2, and it's like it's so easy to get them back, right, for level 3. Especially not because of this, but especially because we're running 2 copies of the Mahiru counter. I'll talk about the Mahiru counter right now, I suppose. So Mahiru counter is honestly such a nuts counter. I can't believe they made this card. So it's a 2/1/2/5 counter, and then when you use the counter, you can discard a card to bounce any of your characters back to your hand. Doesn't have to be the battling character, by the way. So yeah, so like I've definitely done plays where like I'll use this to like counter over a lane with the 2/1, because that's like 9/5. It's not that bad actually. Like if they pump like a level 1 to try to kill it, you can like beat it, and then I bounce another lane that's gonna die, and then deny a reverse. Or you can bounce a character that's already reversed to like back to hand. And like this card is crazy. So I run this at 2 of, and I don't run any other counters, so no anti-change or whatever, because I just think this counter is just so much better. You always want to see this counter. It like gives you so much play, and especially with the 2/1s, because the 2/1s are free if you have the combo. So like you can counter, bounce the 2/1 back, play the 2/1 again. If they have like a level 3, you just kill the level 3 again, right? So like, yeah, level 2 game with this is just crazy. You don't need to anti-change them when your level 2s just like whack over them. That's my opinion. All right, and then one copy of the best card in the deck in terms of like unfairness, 2/1 Karin back row. So whenever you play a Revue character, plus 1k power to that character, and then you can tap this to look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, and then rearrange them in any order you want. So that's broken because of the top end in this deck. We have burn 1 in main phase, and then we have also check top 3, kill all the climaxes, and then shuffle their deck, right? So you tap this. If you see 1 climax and you have the 3/1 event, you put the climax on top and you burn it off, and then it's 2 clean, right? If you see 2 climaxes, then you can put the 2 climaxes second. You burn 1 with the 3/1 event, so you burn off the top clean, and then you attack with Karin first, and then do the top check 3, kill the climaxes. So you kill 2 climaxes that way, right? And if it's all 3 climaxes, then you hold your burn events because you don't need them, and you just attack with Karin first, and you kill other climaxes, right? So it's great. Like no matter how you play it out, you can always like get really favorable attacks and like favorably hit the climax off. Because it's like really cringe if like they cancel last card with climax. But this basically allows your first swing to always be like, yeah, they're gonna take it or whatever, right? So it's great. This card is crazy good with the top end. And speaking of the top end, it is 4 copies of the Karin and 2 copies of the Hikari. This is the Hikarin combo. You get 4 attacks, 2 instances of burn 2, and then you also, one of your attacks is this, which combos on the same door, so you also get to get potentially 1 hand back. Actually, you get guaranteed 1 hand back, because even if you trigger, you get the hand, and you get 1 stock back. So the combo is actually way cheaper than you might imagine. I think it's only like, I'm pretty sure if you hard play everything, it's only 6 stock, which is crazy. But you're almost never hard playing everything, because like you can protect this with like at level 2, and if you have a full board, they're not like killing all of them. So you usually actually save the stock from this. But yeah, Hikari is on play search, so you also get to search a missing piece. Karin is on play heal or on summon from waiting room, and the Hikari will summon the Karin. So Hikari kills this Karin and summons this Karin. It's very flavor. And the Karin is on attack, pay 1, ditch 1. You either burn 2 or you can kill the climaxes in their top 3 and then they shuffle. So not bad. You don't usually go for the kill climax unless you know there's like 2 climaxes in the top 3. Otherwise the burn 2 is just better, because you would burn off the climax anyways, right? Yeah, anything else I need to talk about for this combo? I mean, the combo is just really good, especially because we're also playing 4 copies of the event. The event is kind of what makes the combo like better than any other option. So the event 3-1 event, 2k power to one of your Revue characters, and then you can either salvage the door, so you can always get door, like you don't miss a combo, or if you already have the door in hand, you can just burn one, right? So really good. And then the event is not a miss for your Karin level 2, so it's pretty easy to get to hand, and you also have the Fukujiro to get it if you need to. So you just hold multiple copies if you can, and then you like get the climax if you don't have it, and if you have the climax, you just start burning one. Right, so like if I have like 2 in hand and the climax, then I'll like actually just burn before I even do this, because like the burns are just great because like I want more information later, and like I'm gonna burn anyway, so I burn and then I top check, or I'll burn one, top check, burn, something like that, where like you want to like get as much information as possible, right? So if you burn one, top check, and then burn, you can burn one, which is like if it hits a climax, great, and if it hits clean, it's fine, and then you top check, and then you can move the climax to the top if there is one, and then you burn again, right? And then if it's all 3 clean, you burn 1 and then attack with Connor first, burn 2, that's 3 clean. Really good. All right, 1 copy of Stock Swap. This card's kind of unnecessary. I feel like a lot of times in the late game, you're already devoting all your resources to like the events and then like the whole package, and Stock Swap's really not that important because you always know what the top cards of the deck are, and so if they're really compressed, you just kill their compression anyways. But I think it's not bad to have in some cases, and if you're like really far ahead but they just start compressing like crazy, this could be a good there's honestly nothing really to run in this slot, but you could potentially run something else, like I am notably not running anti-change counter, so like if you feel like you don't like playing without anti-change counter, you can definitely drop either this or this for the anti-change. All right, and then the climaxes for pants and for gate. Red gate. All right, yeah, so this is the deck. Yeah, I think these are the 2 flex slots. If you want to try to experiment, these are the best cards to cut first, but I would definitely try the other ratios the way it is right now. I think there's a lot of reason why you should be running ratios like this. I explained why this is at 2. Also, I think I explained why this is at 2. You just don't want to flood on this. It doesn't plus, and if you miss, you feel bad. Explain why this was at 2, 1. Obviously these are kind of like good one-ofs. Yeah, so I would try these ratios first, especially if you feel like this set hasn't been giving you very well. Try these ratios first, and then you can like kind of nudge these and experiment around with the other stuff. But generally speaking, like this has been really consistent for me. This is one of the decks I like to play when I'm having a bad day and I'm just like I don't want to get sacked, right? So this deck is hard to get sacked because you always have some kind of game plan, some kind of good positive thing to do at every given level, and then your end game is also really consistent because the Hikari searches, and then this gets you the climax. So yeah, I hope you guys try this deck out. I do have another deck idea for a Revue that I want to experiment with that's a lot more spicy, so hopefully you will see some more Revue content on this channel. I do like the movie and the anime quite a lot. I dropped the game because the game was suffering, but yeah, I'm really excited that Revue Relive got announced for English, so I'll hopefully be doing a lot of content on Tress's channel for that, so be on the lookout for that as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.